Friday night with a dominant performance from Drew Rasmussen, leading to a shutout victory. But yesterday, the Fish turned the tables with a nail-biting 4-3 win. Today, right-hander Griffin Jax takes the hill as Tampa Bay looks to take the Citrus Series in 2026. Rays TV is presented by Union Home Mortgage. A look inside the Rays dugout as they take on the Marlins today for the final game of the Citrus Series here in 2026. And now let's go down to the field. Here's Kendra Douglas.
Well, Andy, as Junior Caminero looks to help this Rays squad get back into the win column, one thing that manager Kevin Cash has noted is just how far Junior has come this season. And that growth is the reason why he's continuing to build a case for himself for an all-star selection. And fans have all of June to participate in that Phase 1 voting to help him and some of his teammates get to Philadelphia. Now, teammate Taylor Walls told me one thing that makes Caminero so special is his knack for making adjustments at the plate. And while everyone knows about the power, Walls said he's been just as impressed with Caminero's growth as a hitter and the impact he can make with one swing. So if you want to see guys like Junior Caminero and his teammates get to Philadelphia next month, fans can cast their vote every day at RaysBaseball.com/vote. Andy?
Kendra, thank you very much. And you'd sure hope for a team like the Rays, having the best record in the league for a while and still in first place for about a month, that there would be multiple All-Stars for the Rays heading to Philadelphia. But we still got a little ways to go to get that ready, and we hope that you'll vote for the Rays. And now the lineups brought to you by Orlando Health. Yandy Diaz will start it. The Jonathan Aranda, Richie Palacios up to the 3-hole. Junior Caminero in the cleanup spot. Cedric Mullins has hit Alcantara well over his career. Then Victor Mesa Jr., Ryan Valade, Hunter Fiducia, and in the 9-hole, Taylor Walls.
Well, our Suncoast Credit Union starting pitcher is going to be right-hander Sandy Alcantara, making his 14th start of the season. That record at 4-4, the ERA at 4.59. Don't let the inflated ERA and even the high whip right there of 1.3 fool you. Sandy Alcantara can be one of the toughest pitchers in the game on any given day. He still has that kind of stuff, and the Rays kind of had a glimpse of that when he started against them was a few starts ago. 6 innings, did give up the 7 hits, but 1 unearned run, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6 in picking up a no decision, a game that the Marlins would go on to win. This is the mix. 2 in the 4-seam fastball right there at 43%, but he splits them up almost evenly. A good changeup, cutter, slider, sweeper, curveball. Throws a little bit of everything at you, and he does it to righties and lefties. A lot of times, you see a grouping of pitches against righties and a grouping against lefties. He will use them all to both sides of the plate.
Underway on a Sunday afternoon in Miami. Alcantara has had a couple of bumps this year, but the bumps are big bumps. That's why the ERA is 4.59. But outside of that, they're all great other than those.
4 bumps,
yeah,
Andy, and you're absolutely right. 4 times he's given up 6 earned runs or more. So you're right. That's why you kind of disregard the 4.59. And when he's been bad, he's been really bad. But when he's not been really bad, he's been really good.
Remember,
a lot more often.
Yesterday in the postgame, you said that's a guy that can take over a game. And we've seen him do it before. He just struck out Yandy Diaz on 3 pitches to open it up.
There you go. You don't see that very often either. Yandy Diaz, 98 up in the zone. Let's take a quick look at that Marlin defense. Outfield left to right, we've got Heriberto Hernandez, Jacob Marcy, and Owen Casey. Across the infield, third to first, Javier Sanoa, Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards, and Kyle Stowers with Joe Mack back behind the plate.
All right, so 1 out in the top of the first inning. Here now, Jonathan Aranda. Alcantara is 30 years of age, won the Cy Young in 2022. And what a trade it was to have the Marlins get him from the Cardinals back in 2017. 2-time All-Star.
That year that he won the Cy Young, 228 plus innings. Actually, it was 228 and 2/3 innings, 6 complete games.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was back in 22. You've got a lot of pitchers from 22 through today that have not touched 6 complete games and probably never will.
No.
Not with the way that the game is played now, not with the way that the bullpens are built now.
He's ahead of Aranda. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. This year, Alcantara tied a Marlins record, 24 consecutive scoreless innings, which is the record that he shares with Dontrelle Willis, who did that in 2005. Flared and fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, we know he missed 2024 with Tommy John. Came back last year, was not particularly sharp in the first half of the season, turned it on in the second half, and then this year just those couple of big bumps. But other than that, he's been the same old Sandy Alcantara, the top of their rotation. Strike 3 called, 2 down.
I'll tell you, that was the way that they were able to get Aranda in last night's game. I believe it was his last at bat. That fastball in that freezes him. And this ball has enough arm side run. Our Advent Health strike zone starts it off the plate in, takes it right to the edge. Actually, inner third. 2-seamer. You give up on it, and it comes right back to the plate.
2-seamer at really high velocity, too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Very similar to what Drew Rasmussen does. He loves that front door 2-seamer to the lefties. And he gets good velo, too.
Palacios. 0-1.
Ooh, well, how about the guys in the truck already all over it? That 2-seamer gave the Rays fits in that 6-inning, no earned runs start. 3 strikeouts, all looking just like Aranda. That's exactly how he uses it. That's why he does a pretty good job, of staying out of trouble with that pitch a lot of times. And same with Drew. Drew's batting average against his 2-seamer is really low. He doesn't put it in a spot where you're really going to be able to hurt him.
It's a 1-2-3 inning, although Palacios hit it on the screws. Kyle Stowers new to first base. Enjoy. The lineups now for Miami brought to you by Orlando Health. Liam Hicks will start it. Otto Lopez and Kyle Stowers. Middle third, Xavier Edwards, Heriberto Hernandez, and Owen Casey. And then Jacob Marcy, Joe Mack, and Javier Sanoja.
Well, our Suncoast Credit Union starting pitcher this afternoon is going to be right-hander Griffin Jackson. Let's take a look at his numbers as a starter. Record 0-2, but a very respectable 3.60 earned run average. You can work with a whip like that if you're good with runners in scoring position. You see strikeout to walk ratio. Home runs allowed.
Kevin Cash said before the game today that the big thing for Jax is 2-strike execution. He always says Kyle Snyder speaks constantly. The race to 2 strikes, but last time out against the Tigers, too many good pitches to hit for Detroit when the count was at 2 strikes.
And I don't think it was just Detroit. I think that's been something that's been plaguing Griffin this entire season, whether it's coming out of the pen or in that starting rotation. The numbers against him with 2 strikes are far too high for his stuff, period. I mean, really, they're in the higher, you look at his batting average against with 2 strikes, and it's 212. And you say, well, that's not a big number. That's with 2 strikes. Most every other starting pitcher is going to be, maybe 175, 182. You see some of the really, really dominant guys are like a $110.
Camanero's got to play. On that pop-up by Liam Hicks, that was in the air so long. Thought it might fade out, but Junior made it, and that's 1 out.
Well, maybe that's a harbinger of things to come for this defense. Let's take a look at it. In the outfield left to right, we've got Ryan Vilade, Cedric Mullins, and Victor Mesa Jr. Junior Caminero with all that range. Taylor Walls, Richie Palacios, and Jonathan Aranda with Hunter Fiducia back behind the plate.
Ryan Vilade in left. Notice Chandler Simpson not in there. His left thumb still bothering him. Kevin Cash did say that Chandler Simpson could pitch hit like he did yesterday, but even in the at-bat against Fairbanks, it flared up again. It's going to take some time away. And with Boston scheduled to have some left-handers, you might not see Chandler start for the next couple days. There's the thumb. 1-1 here to Otto Lopez.
But getting back to those numbers with 2 strikes, with any red flag for me is when you see a starting pitcher, when you're doing your work on them, and you've got averages that are above 200 with 2 strikes. The first thing that comes to mind is he's not putting guys away like he should. And it doesn't necessarily have to be strikeouts, but just that's a number. You do this enough, that's a number that's far too high. When you combine that with what the kind of stuff that Griffin has, yep, that's what you got to keep your eye on.
Well, he's had great strikeout numbers throughout his career. but not so much this year.
Not so much this year.
Right to Taylor Walls at shortstop. As sure as any shortstop in the league, and there's 2 men gone.
For example, we were talking about this before the game. If you look at his strikeout percent rate in 24, he was in the 97th percentile. 25, the 98th percentile. This season, 47th. That's a huge drop. And it's not like his stuff is worse. You know, it's not like he's losing velocity, he's losing break. It's not anything like that. It's just, it's the command of it. It's the 2-strike pitches that are too hittable.
Which leads you to believe that if he can make that one adjustment, he could really take off, which is what the Rays are banking on him doing as a starter.
Yep. I absolutely, that's the case. His stuff is far too good. It really is. And when it's, you know, when he's on a little bit of a roll and in good rhythm, he's as unhittable as they come. You saw that in the, you know, when he was coming out of the pen in the high leverage situations with Minnesota, you know, and even somewhat, you know, with the Rays, and now getting this opportunity to start, he's got the arsenal to be able to do it and the stuff to be able to do it very well.
And as a starter, not every pitch you throw tends to be with the game on the line. You know, when he's coming in high leverage relief, one mistake could be it.
The ball game, yep.
So a little more leeway as a starting pitcher. Didn't chase the curve, and now it's full 3-2. You think about it, that's a pretty deep bag of tricks for a guy that would throw 1 inning at a time. You know, he's got like 6 pitches, if not more, as we were seeing on the mix, to work with. So what does he have here on 3-2? Went with the power, but it's too low.
Yeah, and he's upset with himself because he's the one that called that pitch. You know, after that curveball, after Stowers didn't go after that curveball, he went right to his hip and then went right back to it as he was getting ready to throw the pitch. And I'm watching Fiducia. Fiducia didn't go anywhere near his little box. So that was Jack's pitch. So he was so set on, I know what I got to do here, and we're going to get him. And then he doesn't execute it. It turns into a walk.
2-out walk to Stowers, and now here is Xavier Edwards. Edwards, who gets hit in a little bit because of the exploits of Otto Lopez in terms of number of hits and his average, but he's amongst the league leaders in those categories as well. Hit out to left, should be playable. Valade puts it away, and it's a scoreless inning for Griffin Jacks. At the end of 1, no score. That man, Junior Caminero, will start things off for the Rays in the 2nd.
The best $10.99 you can eat.
Celebrate your Dominican heritage at Tropicana Field. Friday, June 26th, the Rays will be hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fans can purchase a Dominican Heritage ticket package that includes a seat to the game and a Junior Caminero Dominican Heritage bobblehead. Visit RaysBaseball.com/Dominican Heritage. The Dominican Republic's favorite sons at the plate. Junior Caminero will start the 2nd for the Rays. The rankings for Junior Caminero. Pulled it right to Sanoja for the first out. One out, nobody on.
Let's take a look at our Ford keys for Cedric Mullins and say trending up the last 17 games, 263 on the average, but look at the on-base percentage right there, 391. He's got 5 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. He's scored 11 runs, lay down the bunt, steal you a bag, has a couple of stolen bases in that span. So starting to put some things together. And you combine that with what he does defensively for you out in center field. Okay, now you're talking.
Homered Wednesday, homered Friday here, just missed a home run yesterday. and a couple of career homers against the man he's facing right now. There it is. Not many have good numbers against Sandy Alcantara, but Mullins is one of them. 1-2. Put him away for the second out.
Looked like he was trying to go with the backdoor cutter there, and that ball actually never got to the plate. So Mullins ended up going outside the strike zone to get it. Tries to cut it backdoor. It stays backdoor.
So 2 quick outs, nobody on for Victor Mesa Jr.
I'll tell you,
two-seam fastballs first inning. This inning, it's all cutters.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: when you're trying to backdoor the cutter from the angle that Alcantara's trying to do it from, he's on the first base side of the rubber. So to get a cutter, you're starting it off the plate, away to a left-handed hitter, and trying to cut it back to the outside edge. That's not a real good angle to do that from. If you're on the other side or in the middle, okay, now your arm's out there, you can just let it go straight and it'll cut to the edge. But here, I mean, that's a tough angle for the backdoor cutter, and you saw the one that Cedric swung and missed at. It didn't do anything. It's almost like if the hitter's able to pick up that cut spin, it's assuming that, especially if it's away from him, if you're a left-handed hitter, you're assuming it's going to cut back towards the plate, and it really doesn't, because the angle that you're throwing it from just doesn't allow it to.
Maybe that's what
not
Cedric
very
saw.
well. Yeah.
1-2 the count to Victor Mesa Jr.
And I'll tell you, I'll wait for this pitch, and then I'll tell you.
Off the end of the bat, dropping quickly, and the Rays have their first hit.
Yeah, Victor Mesa Jr. Yeah, and that's something that I think is interesting with both of these starters. Their changeups are so close to their fastballs in velocity that if you are not perfect with command, it's just there's not a differential of velocity that gets these guys that far out in front. So if you put it in a great spot, yeah, good, you're going to get a nice result. But if you don't, you're going to, that ball's going to get hit. And for these two guys today, Griffin Jax and Sandy Alcantara, both of them, when you look at their swing and miss rate on their changeup, it's very, very high. You see, that's, again, 6. That's even more than Griffin Jax, who's at 4. But their swing and miss on these two particular pitchers on their changeup is very high. For Griffin Jax, it's at 37+%. For Sandy Alcantara, it's at 32%. But the average against that pitch is far too high for that much swing and miss, which tells you there's not that much a differential in velocity. And if the command is not perfect, if it's not in a perfect location, it's going to get hit. And so when you have a swing and miss percent that is so high and an average against that's over 300, you're like, it's hard to marry those two. And that just tells you that maybe there's something with the pitch. And in this case, it's the velocity differentials. They're too close. They act more like a BP fastball than an actual changeup.
So a better velo might be 3 or 4 less.
I mean, if I could build Griffin Jax a changeup off of his fastball, it'd be 96. And I mean, if you could get him to 88, you give him, because right now he's 96, 92.
Yeah.
That's 4 miles an hour. It's not a lot. I mean, that's for a changeup. That's a BP fastball. It's not a changeup. Sandy Alcantara, same thing, 97, 91. That's better, but it's still pretty tight. And it relies on the perfect command. You leave the 92 or the 91 out over the plate, it's going to get hit because the velocity differential is not that much. Yeah. Not many guys are fooled on the velocity differential. They may be a little bit out in front, but then the great location gets you. But if you don't have great location, the averages against those pitchers are far too high for the swing and miss that you get.
Trying for second, Mesa. Called out. Mesa took off too early. We'll see if the Rays have any thoughts of challenging. And they will now challenge. So Mesa left a little too early, and Alcantara threw a strike to second.
USAA, taking care of our own.
Rays TV is brought to you by Advent Health. You are our priority in a medical emergency. Advent Health. And by Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card, or an unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Second inning, no score. Griffin Jack's back to the mound. BA, we were talking about changeup there. So if you need a little more separation between your fastball velo and your changeup velo, how difficult is it of a adjustment to make, and how does a pitcher do that during a season?
You know, it just depends. That the thing with the changeup is there are so many different grips. I mean, the changeup is nothing more than getting your power fingers, your index and middle finger, out from behind the back of the baseball. Now, some guys will split them. Other guys will roll them over to the side of the baseball and throw a circle change. You've got a three-prong, you've got the Vulcan. There's so many different grips. So you'd have to, number one, determine what is your grip, and then how can I further either get those fingers out from behind the baseball or tuck it further back towards the palm of my hand. There are different ways to do it. Sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes a changeup is a feel pitch, and sometimes it's tough for guys to get a feel for a changeup, because you're taking a ball and you're moving it from the way that you've thrown it your whole life for the most part, and you're trying to throw it as hard as you can. And so that differential, that grip differential between fastball and changeup can be a challenge for some guys. That's why there are so many different versions of it for guys to be comfortable with it. Orlando Health slow-mo replay. Look how see how he rips that fastball? Now you tell him, hey, I want you to do the same arm slot, same arm speed, same arm everything, but those two fingers can't be behind the ball. Well, that gets real uncomfortable.
And Casey with a foul ball. And during a season, I would think that's a tricky thing. Like, if it's such a field pitch, you can work it on the side on your bullpen days, but you got to get confidence in it, right?
That's absolutely, especially with that pitch.
Sure.
Especially with that pitch. It's not just about rearing back and letting it go. I mean, there's a certain level of confidence that you have to have in it. So you can tinker with some different grips.
Hit well to center by Owen Casey, but Mullins makes the play up against the wall. Ray's fortunate it gets extra deep out there to the left of straightaway center.
Yes, it does.
And Mullins hauled it in.
You see 400 to straightaway, and then there's that little bit of angle back by the bank side, and that's where that ball starts to go. And Cedric able to make the adjustment on the route and be able to glove that baseball. Or Orlando Health slow-mo replay. Look it in and squeeze.
And with that, it's just a harmless little fly ball out. And that'll leave it for Jacob Marcy.
You see right there, too, after that fastball, Griffin Jacks went right to the right hip. So he's calling this next pitch. Wanted to tunnel the cutter off of the two-seamer. So think about that. You've got 95 that's going to start in off the plate and run to the inner third, and then you're going to tunnel the cutter out of the same spot, and you're going to try to make it move in to the hitter.
And that changeup went away from the hitter. Foul ball, though, 1-2.
Yeah, see that the changeup grip. So he's taken the index finger off of that baseball, and then he has the middle and the ring finger behind the ball, the pinky on the side, and the index finger on the other side. So if you wanted to take more velocity out there, you either tuck that a little further back in the hand, or you start to roll that middle finger a little bit more towards the index finger. But then that makes the ball feel like it might squirt out of your hand the other way. It can be uncomfortable. So and maybe he's already tried to do that.
Great too.
But when guys develop the changeup, you can see now you could roll that middle finger that's on top of the baseball. You could roll it a little bit more towards the index finger. You could maybe try to tuck it back a little bit deeper. But again, it all comes back to comfort. Those fingers, it all comes back to comfort and confidence with that pitch. You have to be real comfortable with it because it does feel a little funky when you start messing around with the grip.
And the other thing that gets you through that is reps.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to do it over and over until it gets comfortable.
Yep. And it's not like you can do, bullpens of nothing but change-ups.
Right.
And
off the glove of Walls. He slowed it down, and thinking about second base is Marcy, but he'll hold on to it. Tell you what, as deep as Mullins was, it may have had to have been Walls to prevent that from turning into a double.
Absolutely right. And Marcy, he rips that ball, and boy, Taylor had a shot. Yeah, you can see him shaking his head. He's not real thrilled that he didn't come up with that. Put himself in great position, got the glove where it needed to be, just not quite far enough.
So the Marlins get a 2-out base runner just like last inning, and now here's the catcher, Joe Mack.
Right there, how about that? So Griffin Jacks is not even picking up Marcy over there. He was looking at the glove of Fiducia. Fiducia dropped the glove. That's when he picked over. Usually, you would do that a lot of times out maybe at second base if there was a play that was called right there. Because, a right-hander, the challenge for him, and you've got a base steal over there in Marcy. You've got to look over that left shoulder, and you've got to be able to pick him up. And if he's far enough where you can't pick him up or that body's getting smaller, maybe that's the time to go over there. But that particular time, it was Fiducia dropped the glove. That's when he picked. Like a no-look pick.
Now it looks like Fiducia's going to the buttons also with a man aboard. Time call.
And I think that it's just, back and forth. Fiducia's, calling the game, but, Griffin Jacks, this is your game. It's your ERA, it's your win, your loss, all of those things. You got to take responsibility. So when you throw a pitch and you know exactly what you want to do next, then now you have the opportunity to make that call. You don't have to wait for the catcher and then shake him off.
Oh, he stepped off, and they got him picked. Aranda to Walls to Palacios.
Too many.
It's still going. Here's Aranda.
Too many.
Here's Walls, and they finally get him. It was too many.
They got him.
But they got him. That's all that really matters in the end. And we're scoreless through 2 in Miami. Third inning from Miami. It's the Rays and the Marlins scoreless. What's he doing, B.A.? Rob Marcello?
He's saying, wait for it. There's the pitch call. Rob Marcello, the assistant pitching coach, is giving the pitch call right there, which will then be radioed to Sandy Alcantara. Now, Sandy Alcantara has the option to be able to shake that pitch off, but overall, as a group, they're saying, 3, 4, 5 times a game that there's a shake off. I think with Alcantara, it's a little bit more. He's a little bit more of a veteran with a little bit better understanding of what he wants to do. And then we'll call the next pitch.
3-4.
You take that onto that little wrist guard, then press that button, and Sandy goes, okay, let's go with it.
Hit very hard, but right at Otto Lopez for the first out. I mean, if we're seeing it, clearly the opposing teams are seeing it.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the combinations mean. But if you're watching the game and then you see a pitch come in with that code, wouldn't you make a note?
It would be too easy. And at the Rays, that they would be looking at that. You see right there the 3-4, and it was a two-seamer. Okay, well, next 3-4, oh, here comes the two. So I'm sure it's a rolling program of numbers that goes on, and they probably change from.
And now 0-2 to Owen Casey, make it 0-3. He struck him out.
By the way, that last look that we had, I had him safe.
I did too. I got to be totally honest with you. See, I don't see where he's touching him.
I know. I also understand the worry of stands.
Yeah. But
in a one-run game in the 5th, maybe you take that chance. Because I don't know. I do suspect stands, but I think he got there.
So a break for the Rays. One way or the other, the Rays get the out. Tells you, too, what the umpires have to deal with. We're looking at it 10 times over from 3 different angles in slow-mo. They get one shot at it in live action.
Yeah. Well, and it shows you a lot of times how good they are.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as 50-50 down the middle right there. Jacob Betts on the call.
Do you know what we also have the luxury of doing that they don't?
Second guessing?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. But no, we can build mosaics.
Well, that is true.
They love to build that mosaic from.
They're beautiful.
They are gorgeous, and a lot of times they give you the right answer.
Yeah. I always wondered too. Do the umpires go back? Do they look at? They must.
Yes,
they must go back.
Yep. Oh, you're going to challenge that.
Challenging a 3-0 pitch.
It looked down.
Catcher's challenge.
I mean, it looked down.
And it was down.
Andy, it looked down.
So
The pitch is confirmed. Miami has one challenge remaining. Tic-tac. Tampa Bay has one challenge remaining.
Here's the only the thing that you would ask. But so if you get that, so what?
So it's 3-1.
3-1. I mean that's a very low leverage risk to take.
All right, from Fiducia's standpoint, he's thinking, I can help get my guy through 5 innings here. Maybe that goes through his mind in that moment.
It absolutely probably does.
And because it's so quick, it's an instinct, right? It's just a quick snap decision.
And you've got the left-handed hitter coming up. You're thinking, okay, here comes. Is that what Clevenger's coming in for? Now you get 4 2/3.
There you go.
A
lot goes through the mind.
Yeah.
What do you think yesterday? And I asked Kevin Cash about this. Junior Caminero would have loved to have had the challenge back on a pitch that probably was a ball. So I asked Kevin before the game today, that's the first time I can really think of the Rays getting kind of burned on one, not having one when they could have used it. I said, does it change the way your thought process has evolved on ABS? And he goes, not really, because you could have a situation like that in the middle of the game and it could change the game there too. I said, but you'd love to have that one right there. He goes, yeah, but you get to and the flow of the game, and you don't know what's going to happen. If that's game number 61 of the season, it's taking a long time for it to really cost you one in the ninth. So you never know when it's going to cost you. And as it turned out, you'd love to have had that one back there late, but
and that doesn't mean that it doesn't take him one more pitch to strike him out.
Sure.
I mean, that could still happen.
You never know. It's 1-2 to Mac. That is strike 3. No challenge requested by Mac. And Griffin Jax with a shutout through 5. And the Rays hanging on to the slimmest of leads. In the zone, auto zone. Rays TV is presented by Union Home Mortgage.
Hot corner alert. The Marlins home run sculpture stands 73 feet tall, was moved outside in 2018. I'll tell you, I got some history with that sculpture there, Andy.
You do?
I do.
Well, let's hear it.
No, that's a West Coast story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Late night with the Rays?
Late night with the Rays.
Yeah.
Used to be right out there.
It was.
It got me a little 3-day vacation.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
One that you weren't expecting?
I wasn't expecting the phone call that I received.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Totally understood.
Yeah.
Just had a little too much fun with the home run sculpture.
Well, I thought that's why I was there, to have fun with. And used to have, colorful, and it would move on a home run.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. And I we talked about how, what it's hard. It's hard to really.
I'll have to go into the archive for that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Don't get me wrong. We came up with the. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's
what it
exactly
was.
right.
Look at that thing.
And then we came up with a protocol.
Okay.
That you would go through to treat any symptoms that it may have caused, and
next thing you know, you're on vacation.
The phone call. And it's one of those phone calls where when the name that pops up on the screen, when that name pops up, they're not calling to tell you anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've all gotten that call at some point.
Yeah. So you just wonder the degree of.
And it wasn't because of a late night with the Rays. It was.
No, it was
East
actually
Coast with the
East
Rays?
Coast with the Rays, and Way too much fun with that sculpture.
Well, obviously they liked it enough to keep it around. It's just not inside the ballpark anymore.
Wasn't that the first thing that Derek Jeter did?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that gone.
Yeah.
Okay, it can stick around the neighborhood, but it's we're taking that out of the ballpark.
Richie Palacios straightaway center field for Jacob Marcy, and there's the second out of the inning. The fences used to be green. It used to look a little different in here. They repainted it. It's altered a bit over time. It's a nice place, and it was rocking during the WBC.
I love this ballpark. Yeah. Now that I love going to the blue seats. I love the green, the foliage out there. As far as the batter's eye, and then even out in deep left center field, I love the walkway. It kind of reminds me of the little bridge at Tropicana Field.
Junior Caminero grounds out to end the inning. A very quick time up for the Rays, and into the bullpen they go to the bottom of the
Baseball.com/summer.
Well, I'll tell you what, how good was Griffin Jacks here this afternoon through his 5 innings. Complete command of the strike zone and really complete command of this game. He was able to pitch around the 3 hits that he gave up and a couple of walks, so they did have some base runners, but he made that null and void. Struck out 4, worked the ball to both sides of the plate. I thought he was effective with that 2-seamer, with the 4-seamer. All of what he went after these hitters with was effective. And on top of that, we talked about his efficiency in those 2 other outings where he went 5 innings. But how about the efficiency today? His inning high in pitches was 15, and that's where you would love to be.
Yeah.
And that was as high as he got. So he went out there, really did a great job of attacking that strike zone and putting these Marlins hitters on their heels. Now he gives way to the bullpen. They're going to have to be pretty good here in a 1-run game. That starts with Garrett Clevenger. Slider, 2-seam, sweeper, 4-seam. Really good stuff. This kind of it works its way into what you and I were talking about in yesterday's game when the Marlins went with the bullpen down.
Yeah. So we match up rest of the way for the Rays.
That's it. And so you've got 12 outs to get by 3 or 4 different guys in a 1-run game. So they all have to be good. They all have to be spot on.
We say it all the time. 1-0 games are really hard to win. 1-0. You got to be about as sharp as you can. See, the offense can give him more cushion later. That's a mean fastball there.
That is. He gets Sanoha, who's been swinging the bat well, had the big home run in the ball game yesterday. You go up and out of the zone and watch this defensive swing. I mean, flat-footed, reaching, completely out of sync, completely blown away by, as you referred to, a mean fastball.
Yes, it was. It's a fastball in a bad mood. And here's Liam Hicks going back to the top of the Marlins order. Well, and Clevenger is throwing strikes. You can say about a lot of pitchers, but like you said, he's got really, really good stuff. And if he's not self-inducing harm with wildness, he is, I think, one of the top lefties in the game out of a bullpen.
Completely agree. Usually when Garrett Clevenger would get into trouble, it's because he got himself into trouble.
Sure.
He is a guy that's really tough to string together an inning against because his stuff is so, I mean, it's electric. It's got good velocity. It's got good late movement. He's got kind of I wouldn't say a funky delivery, but he's got a delivery where there are things going on, and that ball comes shooting out of the hand. He's not a fun at bat.
Two and one. Little bit low. 3-1. Getting into the big average guys after this. Lopez on deck. And a 1-out walk. Oh, producer's going to challenge.
The pitch is called a ball. The catcher's challenging.
And the Rays only have 1 left. And Hunter's 0 for 2, and the Rays are out of challenges.
And I mean by a hair.
From Tampa Bay, the challenges remaining.
Well, Hunter tried to get his pitcher a strike, couldn't get it. Now, out of Lopez coming up, our Blue Moon bright spot. These two guys neck and neck.
How about that? 2 and 3 in Major League Baseball. Of course, Yandy leading the American League. Otto Lopez. And we were talking about it yesterday. We talked about it in the Open today. I still find his profile as a hitter really interesting. You know, I mean, he is a guy that, you know, he chases a ton. He doesn't walk. It's pretty amazing the numbers that he's able to put up by being such an aggressive swinger too. I mean, well above Major League average in swing percent. So he's very aggressive. He doesn't walk. He chases out of the zone. I mean, I think he's in the 16th percentile. So he will expand the zone all over the place. Yeah, the Rays have done a nice job against him. 2 out of 10 with 3 strikeouts. But at the same time, he's hitting .331.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. Well, and there's the chase.
2 of those sliders in a row has them off balance.
Yeah. Yeah, that one you're trying to swing and move your feet out of the way of the pitch at the same time almost. That's not a real good recipe for success. Super aggressive hitters that chase a lot and don't walk don't hit .331. That's why it's so interesting.
Well, he's done it for almost half a season. Still a long way to go. And that one's to the gap in right center. It gets down. It might tie the game. Hicks to third base is being waved. Walls has no play. It's 1-1. With 2 strikes, 2 go to pitch.
Well, and what did we say about when Clevenger gets into trouble?
Self-induced.
Walk.
Yeah.
Walk. And so they've got a base runner without having to do anything. And then, yeah, for a 2-strike pitch, that catches a little bit too much plate. And Lopez, again, talked about how good he has been all year. A really interesting profile, but it works for him. And he triples in the tying run.
Ooh, little spike there on Junior inadvertently as Lopez records his 3rd triple. And now the Marlins in a situation where runner at third less than 2 out. They got a chance to go ahead for the first time. As we say, 1-0s are hard to win. You can step up to the plate and celebrate backyard baseball at Tropicana Field Sunday, June 21st. The Rays will take on the Washington Nationals with a backyard baseball ticket package. You'll score a ticket to the game plus an exclusive Pablo Sanchez bobblehead. Visit RaysBaseball.com/backyard. So the walk and then the 2-strike triple by Otto Lopez has tied it up, and now the infield has to come in. And you got a power hitter at the plate in Kyle Stowers. Ball 1. Out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a time where you're not just looking for an out, you're looking for a strikeout.
But you can't think that as a pitcher until you get to 2 strikes. Okay. If you're thinking before the at-bat, I need a strikeout here, no, don't be results oriented. Be process oriented until you get to 2 strikes. Once you get to 2 strikes, then you start thinking, what can I do to get him to swing and miss here? That's when it overtakes your mind. If it does before that, a lot of times it's not going to work. You're trying to throw strike 3 on the first pitch of the at-bat. You've got to just pick your pitch, pick your location, work your count.
That's well hit into left field. It'll definitely give the Marlins the lead. Valade able to run it down, but Lopez tags and scores, and the Marlins lead for the first time today, 2-1. So now it's the Rays that trail by a run, as Kyle Stowers knocks in the go-ahead score for Miami.
It's a nice job by Stowers in a tough matchup. That left on left against Clevenger, and he was able to hang in there on that breaking ball and get it out to deep left.
Now Xavier Edwards. There's 2 out, nobody on here in the 6th. There's Badley, 2-0. Got the corner. Three balls and a strike. It's Heriberto Hernandez on deck. Pulled that one in. 3-2. Struck him out. Inning is over. A deep sigh by Garrett Clevenger as the Marlins have taken their first lead of the game.
Score unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
This 7th inning is brought to you by Hyundai.
Speaking of the 7th inning, we were talking earlier today that one stolen base this month for the Rays, and it was June the 7th.
Yes.
Have I wished you a happy June the 7th?
Well, happy June 7th to you too.
You know what that is, Andy.
I'm doing the hand motion.
There you go. 6-7.
And now we look like
6-7. Yeah.
We look like a couple of old guys.
Yeah. Listen, they did that at the ballpark today. It made me laugh out loud. I had to call the kids immediately and wish them a happy 6-7.
It's a holiday now.
I don't know why that cracks me up because, I mean, it's one of those things that in a few years we'll be like, something will come up, a stat will come up that will involve those numbers, and we'll be like, do you remember a few years ago when that was a thing with the hands and the 6-7?
Please let it be a few months, not a few years. I think it's worn out a path.
You've been exposed to it, I think, maybe more than I have.
Oh, it's burned into my brain now where I can't see those numbers back to back. It follows you around.
June the 7th.
Yep. Today's the day, though.
6-7.
2-1, the count two. Cedric Mullins just missed a home run. Owen Casey took it back his last time up. 3-1. Rays down for the first time today. As Victor Besa Jr. will bat next, and then Valade. No one warming in the Marlins pen. We know Alcantara can go deep into games. And ball 4. There's a little opening for the Rays. A walk to Cedric Mullins, and let's see if they try to get their second stolen base in the month of June. Well, you can witness Evan Longoria's induction into the Rays Hall of Fame and jersey retirement ceremony this July 11th and 12th. Be a part of the historic Longo's Legacy Weekend. Get your tickets at raysbaseball.com/Longo. Watching Mullins at first as Victor Besa Jr. stands in. Ball 1. That is the first walk of the day allowed by Alcantara.
And I think that if Mullins can go and has confidence to go, he's going to go. Yeah, you're down a run. He's not real happy that he got a home run taken away from him. More than likely a home run.
2-0.
That's not a real reason to run. You've got to like the matchup. But if you do like the matchup, it's not a bad reason to tack on the real reason to run. That's to get into scoring position. That's what has made this Rays offense so difficult to defend. You know, that kind of game planning that you have to do, because they'll run, they'll bunt, they do a lot of things.
Started and stopped, but it's 3 balls, no strikes.
And and now just stay put. Let Alcantara's already walked you. He's 3-0 on Victor Mesa Jr. Let him get himself into trouble, and maybe you don't have to race to second. You can walk.
Strike, 3-1.
At 99, by the way.
Hardest pitch of the day.
7th inning.
There's Valade next. He's been really good with runners in scoring position, so Mesa's got to advance Mullins to second base. 3-1 the count. It is strike 2 called, 3-2.
I don't think Victor Mesa Jr. liked that pitch, but you can see it comes back and catches that edge.
How does he run on 3-2? He does. Strike 3. Safe.
And you couldn't have thrown it any better. You could not have received it any better with the Marlins. Lopez and Mac back there.
And they're going to challenge.
Yeah. And that was a quick challenge. The throw, watch how deep Lopez lets the throw get. He catches it right on his hip. Right on his hip. That's how you do it. Don't catch and then reach for the tag. Let that ball get deep. Let it get deep. Let it get deep. It's what he does. Reaches back. Look how deep he lets it get, and the tag.
Out. I got out.
Yeah. Now the good thing is this call went in the Rays' favor. So burden of proof, we always talk about it. It's on that other side, so it has to be definitive. And look at New York piecing together all the mosaics. Over here is where all the pizza boxes go. And
another view.
Yeah, look at Lopez. Let that ball get deep, so he just has to catch it right into the hip.
Yeah, he's out. I think this is going to be a double play.
That's just that. I'm sorry. That's a great job by Lopez.
Sure
a great
is.
throw by Mac, and a great job by Lopez not catching.
After review, the call in the field is overturned. The runner is out. Miami will retain their chance.
So it was 3-0 with a man at first and nobody out. Strike him out, throw him out. 2 out, nobody on.
That quick. And the Marlins were out here working on this early today, before the game. The throws to second, the different types of throws, but that was just a great job by Otto Lopez. If he catches that ball even with his body and then reaches for the tag, it takes too long. He let the ball, the throw, the velocity on the throw do all of the work. He just kept backing his glove up until he caught it, and basically he caught it while tagging Mullins.
Incredibly good job.
Yep, that's just outstanding glove work and feel.
Busted his bat. It's down the left field line, but hooking. How about this note that Steve, our statistician, gives us? Alcantara did not have a 3-ball count until this inning. 3 balls to Mullins. He walks him. 3-0 to Mesa. And then there's 2 out, nobody on.
That's a good stat.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I mean, you realize both of these starters between Jackson and Alcantara were in control.
Yeah.
But not that kind of control. Griffin Jackson did a great job of controlling, not only the lineup, but just his pitch count. He was so efficient. But Alcantara's been pretty efficient, too. Here, just 86 pitches. His high, 17 16. I mean, you'll take all that. 12, 14. I mean, 6, 7. 6, 7. What? I'm sorry.
My son would say, you're such an unk. 1-2 now to Valade. 2-2. Valade spoils one off. Tell you what, Alcantara's velo has really ticked up here in this 7th inning also. A bunch of 99s. Foul away, stays 2-2. He's out of the inning. And Alcantara applauds himself. He deserves it. After the walk, to strike him out, throw him out. The beautiful beaches of South Florida. The home team in front.
Well, let's take a look at a game summary, and I'll tell you what, the starters here this afternoon were outstanding. Griffin Jacks with 5 very efficient innings, keeping the Marlins off the board. Sandy Alcantara really hit. The only blemish against him was a Taylor Walls 2-out stolen base in the 3rd inning. Then Yandy Diaz drives him in with a base hit up the middle. That would be all that the Rays have at this point. Alcantara obviously still out there, but the Marlins in that bottom of the 6th inning were able to piece together after an opening strikeout of Javier Sanoa. We had a walk to Liam Hicks, and then Otto Lopez in a 2-strike count triples the other way. That gets the tying run home. Kyle Stowers has a nice at-bat, a fly ball to left. That gave the Marlins their 2nd run, and that's where we stand right now, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. And oh, by the way, former starter for the Rays this season, Steven Matz, coming out of the pen and going to try to keep this a 2-1 deficit.
He was off to such a terrific start as a starter, then had some elbow inflammation, and has been only so-so since that, including a drop in stuff, as they call it. The velo down a little bit. Secondary stuff not as sharp. The changeup hasn't been quite what he wants it to be, and there's his mix.
And you know what? For me and Steven Matz, it's real easy. It's 2 things. Is he getting the fastball to the glove side? He loves the fastball in on the righties and away to the lefties. Is he landing that pitch, and where's the changeup at? If he's landing the fastball to the glove side consistently, all the secondary pitches, they fall into place. And then he will have an outstanding outing. But it comes down to the fastball command, glove side.
Hernandez, Casey, and Marcy do up in this 7th inning with the Marlins up a run. Pretty good curveball. 1-2. All right, looks like Alcantara will be done. Michael Peterson looks like he'll be in the 8th. So it's Matz's job to keep this a 1-run deficit and still got a chance. Full count. Esteury Ruiz looks like he will bat for Owen Casey next. Wide to 3rd, Caminero. Smooth with a spin and throw, and he gets him 1 out. Rooms to go standings in the American League East. Yankees 1 game out. And they've got a 1-0 lead at home against Boston.
Rained out yesterday.
Yes, they were. And they'll play a doubleheader in August. They're going to have one against the Rays in September.
Rays have that doubleheader you're talking about there. Then the Rays
Yeah.
have one coming out of the All-Star break
That's
against
right.
Boston.
A lot of double dips. Here's Kyle Snyder is going to go to the mound and talk about Ruiz, who had 4 plate appearances yesterday, but not a single official at bat. 3 walks and a hit by pitch. So Ruiz comes up and then presumably will stay in and go to the outfield. It's interesting that he would walk 3 times because of such a free swinger that he is. But he did that yesterday. And he has taken mats out of the yard before. 1-1. BA, when they say Matz goes to the pen to freshen up, does that mean just to get his stuff back to what it was? Is that what they're referring to when they say freshen up a pitcher? Or just kind of a generic term?
Yeah, I mean, that could mean a lot of different things.
Right.
You know, but I think in Steven Matt's case, it's, you know, go out there, kind of clear the mind, a different role, a role that he flourished in the season ago, you know, getting some, you know, really good bullpen time with, you know, Boston when he got traded there. He had just over a 2 ERA, and, you know, and a number of, you know, a lot of different appearances. So, I mean, there just could be so many different meanings for it. But it could be just go out there, kind of clear the head, familiar with the role. Let's get back to, you know, commanding the fastball, because that's everything with Matz. When he commands the fastball, then, like I said, the changeup, all the secondary pitches, they fall into place. But if the fastball command is lacking, guess what? So will be the curveball, will change up.
Hit the screen. Here's the thing I wonder, BA, is that, okay, we know he's worked as a starter and as a reliever before. He was doing great as a starter, had the elbow inflammation, wasn't going so well. How do you not let it hurt your confidence a little bit? Because you were a vital member of this staff for about 5-6 weeks, and now you're relegated to pitching behind in a game late. And there's a walk to Ruiz.
Well, I think two things. I think, number one, Steven Matz has been around this game long enough that he understands about being a pro and just doing whatever it takes to help this team win. Kind of like we see with Nick Martinez. You know, when Nick Martinez came to the Rays, said, I'll do whatever you want. I mean, look at what he did with Cincinnati. 2 years in Cincinnati with Nick Martinez, he had 82 total games, 42 were starts. So you almost pitched out of the pen as much as you started. That takes a special character guy to be able to do that, and that's the kind of guy he is. Same thing with Steven Matz. He started, he's bullpenned, he'll do whatever it takes to help a team win, especially a team like this. So that's where, you know, that's where it comes, you know, your mind, that's how you deal with it. And I guarantee you that they've talked to him. It wasn't just a straight, you're going to the pen. I'm sure they talked back and forth, the pluses and the minuses. What do you think about this? Get his input on it too. He says, yeah, if you think this is what's best for the team right now, I can go do that. I've done it before and I'll do it again. And so just being a pro, that's all.
Ruiz, delayed steal attempt. He's into second easy.
Well, this team runs most stolen bases in baseball. Oh, yeah, how about that? Just completely lulled him to sleep, and by the time Fiducia came out firing, it was way too late. Well, you don't see that one very often. Haven't seen that one in a bit.
Now he's in scoring position. A walk and a steal. Marlins set the league's pace. Foul tip, 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Now it's 3-1. That's Joe Mack on deck. And back-to-back walks. But there's no opportunity to challenge that pitch, which looked like it might have scraped the zone. Back-to-back walks. And now Joe Mack to the plate. And Matz needs a ground ball. Steps off. Did not get the edge. And it's 1-0. And it was the right call. Pickoff play, and back goes Ruiz. Runners go. He is safe. It's a double steal.
Well, there they go. Here comes Fiducia with the throw. A little bit high and wide, and I don't know if that throw would have been on the bag. I don't think it would have mattered.
Now the infield has to come in, and it's 2-0 to Joe Mack. Fouled off. Well, it's hard to win games when you're scoring just 1 run, but the runs you give up late in a game are really tough to get back. And it's a tight situation now. 2nd and 3rd, only 1 away. Foul ball. 2-2. The one hit in the series drove in that 1 run. It was a double to left of McClanahan yesterday. Tapped off the plate, foul ball. To short, Walls running in and throwing, and a ball dropped by Fiducia. The 3rd run is home. Here comes Marcy, and it's 4-1 Miami.
Well, the Rays got exactly what they wanted. That ball on the ground right to Taylor Walls, and he's going to come up throwing. They got a chance to make the play, the catch, the tag. The catch has to come before the tag. And that's what looked like happened. That Hunter was, bringing that glove to make sure that the tag was going to be in time, but never had the baseball. Here's a real good look at it. Yeah, he was thinking tag first, and I'll tell you what, right there. Let's say that he does have the ball. Does he get the tag there in time? May not have.
No.
Problem is, by not having the baseball, that allows that second run to come in right behind him. And now all of a sudden you're staring at a 3-run deficit.
It's a fielder's choice. RBI for Mack, and the second run scores on an E2. Error to Fiducia. Well, that's too bad. Popped up on the infield, foul territory, and out of play.
Yeah, right there, just never secures it. But let's say that he does have it. Would he have gotten him?
Yeah, might have.
That was real close. That, I mean, that oven mitt looked like it was on the corner of home plate. That was a bang, bang play. Moot point now.
So 2 in the 6th and 2 in the 7th, and Miami has taken full control of the game. Off the end of the bat foul. Launch, but foul. At a 30-pitch inning for Steven Matz, there's only 1 out. 30 pitches, only 16 though in the zone. 2 walks though and 2 steals in the inning, playing a large role. Popped up. Fiducia looks like he's got to play this time, and he makes it. 2 out. And now Liam Hicks. Good looking curve. Snaps in there for 0-1. And now Cole Sulser gets up on the Rays pen with the pitch count climbing for Steven Matz. When you think about it, BA, the last 2 innings, 3 Marlins have accepted walks, and they've all scored.
Well, and like we talked, going into when Griffin Jacks came out of the game, you've got a bullpen that has to cover 12 outs, and you've got no margin for error. And that has not exactly gone very well, but you are so right on point in talking about the walks. How often do they come back to hurt you in tight games, getting late in games? You just can't have it. You can't defend it, and you take already a small margin for error and make it that much smaller.
And then on top of it, allowing the steals.
I was going to say, and you're walking guys on a team that runs and runs and runs. I mean, and the Rays have not done a good job at all this season at controlling the running game. So you're handing them extra base hits, basically.
Last inning was a 1-out walk to Hicks. He scored on the 2-strike triple by Lopez. This inning, back-to-back 1-out walks to Ruiz and Marcy. A double steal, and then the play at the plate that was not converted. 2-2. Time call. You could also turn around and say that scoring 1 run is not going to win you many games, and that would also be accurate. 2-2 pitch. Off the hands, broke his bat, foul ball. Softly hit, rolled in fact right to Palacios at second. The inning comes to an end, but damage done, much of it self-induced by the Rays. 4-1 mark.
Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly.
Well, we're heading into the top of the 8th inning. Marlins lead this ball game now 4-1. Let's take a look at a StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. And I'll tell you what, a strike zone that only a Todd Callis would love. The way that Sandy Alcantara just sprayed it all around and all over. The sinker, the changeup, four-seam, cutter, curveball, using all of his pitches to all of the locations and beyond. And you can see right there, that's where he got his outs. Made the Rays really, you talk about trying to manipulate eyes and manipulate swings, and you're able to get outs, 18 outs in those 18 different areas. You've done a great job of it.
7 innings of 1-run ball. And now this man Peterson comes in, but with a 3-run lead. Burns it in there for 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really hurts. You know, a 1-run lead, okay. You just get a runner. The Rays run well too. You can make some things happen. Now 3 runs down, you've got to really put together some things. You've got to get hot in a hurry.
The fact that the Marlins got 2 runs on no hits.
Well,
and
you brought that up in between innings. You're like 2 runs, no hits, and I'm like, that's right.
They hardly had to do anything.
No. Well, that's why you can't defend the walk, and then to compound it, it's a team that runs and steals a lot of bags and double steal. You know, they just make things happen. They created those runs on their own.
Did.
Once given the opportunity.
Right. All right, 3-1 to Fiducia. Then Walls in the top of the order. Full count. Asteriori Ruiz is now in right field after he did his own damage at the plate and with his legs. Taking over for Owen Casey. 3-2. Fiducia strikes out, 1 away. Well, Alcantara, we've seen him at his best twice this year.
I mean, 13 total innings. He has given up the 12 hits, but he's done a great job of limiting the walks, as you see right here. Boom and boom. 1 total walk. 13 strikeouts. And then you look at some of the starts that surrounded the starts against the Rays, and those were the ones where he was getting hammered. His previous 3 starts, last start he won. Went 7 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, pitched a nice game, 95 pitches. But his previous 3 starts were the 6 innings of 1 unearned run baseball against the Rays, and then 6 innings, 6 earned against Atlanta, 5 2/3, 8 earned against Toronto. And then all of a sudden he was a little bit better against Washington, and then he goes out and dominates the Rays again.
One and two, and then this kid comes in throwing lightning.
Their bullpen has given up the second fewest hits in all of Major League Baseball. Number 1 is the Dodgers bullpen, but these guys have thrown 39 more innings than the Dodgers bullpen has. So probably hits per 9, they're the best bullpen in baseball.
And honestly, the struggles of Pete Fairbanks this year, he's given up a fair amount of those hits that we've been talking about. 2-2 the count to Walls.
Who gets the 9th? Zuber?
Good question. Maybe Kempner.
Ooh. Kempner's intriguing.
He is.
That guy out there from the side throwing 97. You don't see that often at all. But Zuber, he's out there throwing 95.
Yeah. Look at the Marlins pen. It's been very, very good.
There's the good doctor covered up now. There's Bacher, our boy, Lake.
And the Rays are just running out of outs. Well, for every hit this season, Suncoast Credit Union will donate $79 to local nonprofits. Visit suncoast.com/Rays for more information. And he's got one of those hits today and has driven in the lone Rays run. But then he came up last time with 2 on 2 out and grounded out. And so instead of adding on, it was just a 1-0 lead, and those are just hard games to win. Ball 1.
Yandy does not like the ball in. I mean, no hitter does, but he really does not like the ball in.
Oh, there goes the bat. Could be the first one of those we've seen this year. He might not like it in, but he's getting a steady diet of it, and he's having to deal with it from this league as a whole. And there it goes.
Impressive, no?
Not bad. Hit the screen. Doing what?
You remember our guy Kelly Shopping?
I do.
His had more trajectory like down the line. He had the most impressive, helicopter bat tosses that in my time with the Rays.
And Kelly in the minor leagues too did it before coming to the Rays.
Okay, so he comes by it honestly.
Look out!
Wasn't a big league show.
No. 3-1 to count. Right to the second baseman Edwards, and the Rays are down to the last 3 outs. Michael Peterson busting bats and blowing it by hitters. 4-1 Miami.
Rainbow.com/summer.
Rays TV is brought to you by Orlando Health. We make it personal. A look to the skyline of Miami, Florida, where the Citrus Series is heading in the direction of a split this year. We'll see if it happens. Rays still have one more chance left, but the home teams are ruling. Rays took 2 of 3 in St. Pete, and now the Marlins in control today. Cole Sulser replaces Stephen Matz, and he'll work the bottom of the 8th. A drive off the bat of Otto Lopez over the head of Ryan Valade. And Lopez into second with a first pitch double.
I don't think Ryan got a very good look at that ball off the bat. Those line drives right at you, they can be tough, and Lopez jumped all over this first pitch. And let's see the break. Yeah, just having a hard time picking it up and getting a good jump on it, and it's able to get over his head.
So an insurance runner already to second, halfway around to begin the 8th inning. And it took only 1 pitch. Stowers will advance him as Aranda takes it himself. Lopez to third. Well, that'll bring up Edwards. We were talking earlier in the series about how effective Edwards and Lopez have been. As good a double play combo as going in the game today, defensively and offensively. And you can really make a case that both were kind of cast-offs with several different organizations throughout. I mean, Lopez was a waiver claim from the Giants in 24. He'd been with the Blue Jays before that. Edwards had been a high pick for San Diego. They will intentionally walk Edwards here. The Tommy Pham, Jake Cronenworth deal got him from San Diego to the Rays, and then the Rays traded him to Miami in the JT Shagwa deal after the 21 season. And then basically they both switched positions. Edwards was playing more at short, Lopez more at second. And they have switched positions, and they have settled in to be an incredibly good duo, helping to lead the Marlins. An intentional walk to Edwards puts up first and third, 1 out for Heriberto Hernandez, another former Ray minor leaguer. Fouls it off, 0-1. One and one to count to Hernandez. good high heat. And 2-2. Well, Sulzer needs a ground ball at an infielder to try to keep this a save type situation. We saw the Marlin pen going. And into second base standing is Edwards. So there goes the double play, and it'll bring the infield in. Three and two with first base open. Struck him out. Beautiful changeup for 2 away.
Boy, was that ever. And boy, was that needed. I mean, 3 runs, bad enough, but he can't get any bigger than that. Right down the chute.
All right, BA, we were talking changeups for a lot earlier today. His fastball is about 93, changeup 83.
There you go. There's the double digits. There's your 10. And that's why he doesn't have to be as fine with the location. That was right down the middle.
Yeah.
The fastball at 93, if that's 88, that ball gets hit. And maybe it's a base hit. Maybe it drives in 2 runs. But minus 10, it gets him far enough out in front that even though the location is you don't want to throw it right down the middle, still able to be effective.
And the arm speed's the same, right?
That's it. That's the selling point. If it's not, hitters will pick up on that so quick. Has to look just like the fastball.
Now he's behind 2-0 to Ruiz. Here's another change, 2-1. Came right back with 10 more miles per hour.
And it looked like it.
Yes,
That didn't look like a 93-mile-an-hour fastball swing. That looked more like 96, 97. And that's what it'll do. The fastball helps that changeup, but that changeup will just in turn help that fastball play up just a little bit. That's why it's the best combination in the game.
Yeah.
And that's why the Rays pitching staff as a whole have taken to that changeup.
Just missed 3-2. Blasted but foul. Into the second deck, but well fouled. Three and two with 2 out. Got him to chase a sweeper there to retire the side. Okay, it's now or never for the Rays. They'll have the big boys coming up. Aranda, then Palacios and Camaneros. We go to the 9th in Miami.
Give more and do more this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Rays TV is presented by Union Home Mortgage. And the Rays are down 4-1 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. And 31-year-old Anthony Bender is on to try to finish it out in a safe spot. Aranda, Palacios, Caminero due up. Rays need base runners in the worst way. And Bender's been really, really good of late.
Well, we've established today is 6-7-26.
That's true.
He's given up 2 hits since 5-5-26.
Wow.
It's over a month.
Not a bad month.
Sweeper 49 almost half the time. 2-seamer and the 4-seamer combined just 34%, but he averages 96 on the velocity end.
1 and 2.
How nasty that pitch is. That late arm side run.
Just missed. 2-2. Anything to get on base. That's Kyle Stowers going from first base to left field. And Connor Norby goes in to play first. Spoiled foul by Aranda, 2-2. So what you're telling me, BA, he is due to give up some runs.
You know what? That's what I'm hearing too.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Aranda. Laid off, and it's 3-2. Rays trying to get the line moving. Hit hard up the middle and a base hit for Aranda. It's a start for the Rays. And Aranda, who had that incredible May, has been sluggish in June, turns that one right around. He was on a 1 for 21 in June after hitting 374 in May until that hit.
Well, we've been pointing out since he has just taken off, about how he's been using the field, using the middle of the field more than he has in his entire career by a wide margin. And of course, that base hit right up the middle.
You go back to April 20th for Bender, allowing runs in just 2 of 17 appearances. So the Rays are up against it. But they got to start here in the 9th. Couldn't pull the trigger. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit hard, just foul.
Nice glove.
Nice snag down there. That would have been an interesting way to start this 9th inning, but just foul. He's like, no biggie. Bang to first, jumping up to get it, Norby. Satisfied with the 1 out. The Rays can't seem to get anything going today.
Had no angle on that throw. And that's why he didn't make it, probably smartly. And here, that chopper. Take a look at what he's looking at outside of Corey Dickerson's back. You can see that's what the throwing lane looked to Norby.
Yep.
So I'm just going to eat it.
The right move. Out counting time for the Marlins.
Junior Caminero asking or saying to Bruce Dreckman that ball was down. But again, the Rays are out of challenges, much like they were in yesterday's game.
Off the end of the bat. Playable though for Marcy. Well, something to file away. The Rays have not lost back-to-back series since the middle of April in Pittsburgh and then home against Cincinnati. The Marlins have not won back-to-back series since the first week of the season, their first homestand. So trends currently between these two Florida teams. I'd still rather be the team 12 or 13 games above first place, but it's not been a great run for the Rays. Well, they need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate. It's not over yet. But the Rays have spent all the outs they can. One and two. That's who needs to come up this inning for the Rays to make a late comeback. Fouled and out of play. Fouled away. Stays 1-2. Mullins just missed putting one over the wall. In fact, he put it to the very top. Might have been over, but Owen Casey stole it back. Back in the 5th inning. Popped him up. In or out of play. Towards the dugout goes Sanoja, and he is out of room. He's hanging on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Mullins. Mullins very nearly has 4 homers in 4 games. Had one Wednesday, Friday, and just missed yesterday, just missed today. At least he's swinging the bat better. Rays are going to need it. Staying in the AL East against Boston starting tomorrow night. Back home. And the 1-2 pitch. Pop this one straight back out of play. Still 1-2 to Cedric Mullins. Variety of pitches from Anthony Bender. I got the feeling he's going with the hard stuff right here. On 1-2. Nope. 2-2. It's 3-2. And the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over, and the Marlins win the series 2-1. Just like the Rays did to them a couple of weeks ago, the Marlins win the series on this side of the state, and the Citrus series ends up 3 games apiece.
Andy, how about this? No challenges.
Oh, good.
That's a ball.
I know they say they can change games at different times of the game. Doesn't just have to be in the 9th inning, but that's the 2nd straight day where the Rays really could have used one.
That gets the tying run to the plate. Yep, you got 1 shot. Well, our Advent Health play of the game right here, a 2-1 deficit. The Rays infield pulled in. You got a chance to get that runner at the plate, and the throw just not secured by Hunter Fiducia. It would have been a bang-bang play, no question about it. But here comes run number 3. Because the ball gets away from Fiducia, the other runner is able to come around and score, and what was a 2-1 deficit became 4-1 in that quick of a manner. And what was even more frustrating about that inning is they did all that without a hit. Walks and stolen bases.
Rays just aren't hitting enough these days to make up for stuff like that. They lose 4-1 to the Marlins. The Red Sox tomorrow, but first, Rays postgame is coming up next.